guys, it's Mandy V, and today I wanted to talk about something I'm sure a lot of you can relate to. And I've been going through some things, all my life, like recently the past couple years, but my entire life I've been struggling and I've been in a constant battle with the idea and the saying that blood is thicker than water and family is everything no matter what the circumstance. And let me just say, first off, family is everything, and I am the biggest family person you will ever meet in your life, and the man who marries me is also marrying my family, and my family that I love and that I'm close with means the world to me, okay? But there are such things as toxic family members, and it is okay to cut them off under specific circumstances, and I am the biggest #1 supporter of that. Why it's okay to cut off toxic family members. If any of you guys, have some tea in the house, I have some green tea here. We're gonna drink some tea and we're gonna talk a little bit about toxic family members and why it's okay to cut them off. So, without further ado, let's begin. In my opinion, every family is different, and every family has their ups and downs, their conflicts, their fights. What family doesn't? No family is perfect, and I am #1 believer in forgiveness, and love triumphs everything and whatnot. But when it becomes an abusive, toxic environment, I do believe that it is perfectly okay for you to remove yourself from that environment. Family should lift you up always. Family doesn't always have to be blood. Think about adoption, people that are adopted into families. Think about people with abusive family members or abusive parents or kids that were thrown to the side of the road or something like that. Your family could be your friend's family or your boyfriend or girlfriend's family, or your friends are your family. Blood has nothing to do with it, first of all. Blood has nothing to do with it. For you to say to me oh, we're blood, blah, 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 it's that's actually irrelevant. I have tons of families outside of my blood family that I like to call my soul families. My best friend Heather's mom and dad. Luca's family is my second family. And they're what I call soul families. And it's not anything to do with blood. Family members that aren't toxic, that love you unconditionally, will always lift you up, will support you in everything, and want to make you feel good about yourself. They won't bring you down. They won't talk badly behind your back or to other family members. Family, especially the older generation, that they like to gossip, and that's fine. And all families discuss each other behind each other's backs, but when it becomes a matter of talking crap about each other and trying to make that person look bad, that is toxic, and that is not okay. That isn't love. That is that's bullying. That's not okay. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Especially when it comes to family. Why are you gonna walk around the family and try to turn somebody against another person and try to make that person look bad, or try to make that person that's the family. That's your support system. That's the kinds of thing, that's the only place to go when you have nobody else, when you have no friends, when you have nothing. Your family is supposed to be the support system. When I was a kid, and my entire life, but I guess I should start from the beginning. When I was a child, I was always the black sheep of the family. I had ADHD, I had dyslexia, I had a bunch of other things that made me different from everybody else. So more hyper, more involved, more loud, more but I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't. And how every kid has their things, they run away, they sometimes they break something, typical children, that make mistakes and learn from their mistakes. That's what I was. but I was always so full of love and I was very sensitive. I'm still very sensitive, but I was easily like convinced that I wasn't good enough or that I was worse than any other kid in the family. And you know, like, I had a side of the family, I have one side of the family that I'm really close with and the other side of the family not so much, that I was always made to feel different from everybody else in a negative way. And whenever a specific persons would say something or talk down to me or be rude to me or say something that hurt my feelings, I was never allowed to defend myself, because if I defended myself to my elder, the whole family would turn around and be like, you don't speak to your elder like that, you need to have respect. And for so long growing up, I was always like unable to defend myself, and I would always take all this negativity and horrible things that were said to me and made me feel bad about myself. And I was never allowed to say anything, so I would just cry and cry and cry. I would cry myself to sleep. I hated like going to family gatherings with these people there, and I always dreaded it, and I always felt so anxious and tense. And you know, like my mom and my sister and other people that are my support system that love me would notice it, and they wouldn't deny it. We would talk about it and they would agree with me. It is so important to protect your energy. If you're in a room with a specific person, whether that's family, whether that's a friend, whether that's a coworker, whether that's a spouse, a lover, whatever, if that person sucks your energy and they just take it from you and it's negative and they just suck the life out of you, no matter what, that is a toxic person, and you don't deserve that, and you don't need that. You already have your own stuff going on. You don't need that. I don't care who they are. If they're sucking the life force out of you, remove yourself from the situation. I remember like going to family gatherings with these people around me, and they would suck up all of my energy, and I would leave feeling absolutely defeated. When you're with your family, you should leave feeling so good and so fulfilled. And I do with so many different sides of my family. I adore them and they make me feel so good, and I love spending time with them. I would rather spend time with those people than a night out with friends or a date or anything else. I love that side of my family. It's so important to immerse yourself and have people who surround you with like good intentions and good vibes and good energy and just lift you up. It's important to surround yourself by light, good, loving people. If your family doesn't accept you for who you are, flaws and all, you know, just you being yourself, if you're not hurting somebody or if you're not abusing anyone or hurting anyone, you know, this is a problem. They should accept you for who you are and what you are. So I just wanted you guys to know that, coming from, you know, I wanted you guys to know that I'm coming from a place that I know exactly what you are feeling if you are going through the same thing. And I'm not going to get into details because this is a part of my family and I don't really want to cause any more of a divide than there already is. But, you know, certain things were said about my mental health. Certain things were said when I was in high school and I was being bullied and I had, you know, problems with self-harm and suicidal tendencies and stuff like that. I went through a really dark place in my life when family mattered the most and what they said to me mattered the most. And this person/persons brought me down even more than I already was, when I was already at rock bottom and I just wanted to end everything. And that's what you have to remember, is who is there for you when you're at rock bottom. Who is there for you then? and keep them around. So here are some tips for you guys who are going through the same thing that I'm going through and need to get out of the situation and need to move on from it. You have to acknowledge that there are negative people, and they are negative people. You have to look at that person and acknowledge that they are just a negative life force. And it is very sad. And you should feel sad for them because they have their own problems and they, within themselves, they may sit around and think there's problems with everybody else, but they have problems within themselves that they can't even face. Try and let it go and don't hold grudges, because grudges and anger only worsen you and your soul and your positive energy. If you hate and you are angry and you hold a grudge, it only brings yourself down and then you become a negative person. So acknowledge that that person sucks and then just let it go. Just let it go. Forgive them if you can, because forgiveness is everything and it'll set you free. Doesn't mean you have to be around them. Doesn't mean you have to go to the family events they're at. Doesn't mean you have to put up with them. Doesn't mean you have to speak to them. And your family and your friends and whoever is around you should respect that. You should never put yourself in an uncomfortable, toxic, bad, negative environment. And if that means not going to the family gatherings that they are at, so be it. And if you want to go to those family gatherings but you don't want to, be around that person, attempt going and just avoid them. Just don't speak to them. Don't have a conversation with them. Don't sit next to them at the dinner table. If it helps, tell everybody else that you don't want to be around them and, have a support system or a support person like your brother or your sister or your mom or your dad that can be with you at all times and keep you comfort and keep you occupied. That seems like a lot of work. That seems like a lot of effort. So if you just don't want to do it, then just don't. You don't ever have to do anything that you don't want to do. So if somebody says to you, oh, it's this person's birthday, you have to go, or it's this event, you have to go, or it's Christmas, you have to go, or whatever, you don't have to do anything. You decide yourself what you want from your life and who you want to surround yourself with. And if that person is going to bring you down and be toxic and suck the life out of you, you don't have to do anything. You do what you feel is right for yourself and for your own sanity and for your own soul and your own positive light energy. Family is not an excuse. So going off of the whole, if somebody comes up to you and they're like, oh, you have to go, it's Christmas, you have to go, it's this birthday or whatever. And then if they say, well, it's your family, how can you cut that person off or how can you not go? It's family. Family is not an excuse. If, somebody's uncle or somebody's dad is sexually abusing them, are you going to tell them, you have to go to their birthday, their family? No. If that person is causing you pain, physical, emotional, mental, verbal, remove yourself from the situation. You don't even have to explain yourself to anybody. Don't go. It's okay. It is fine. It is justified. I want you to know that because I was never told this growing up, and if I was told this, I'm about to cry right now because I feel like I was so deprived of somebody telling me that it's okay to cut somebody out that is abusive. And yes, I'm going to use that word because it's relevant. And I just want to be that person for my kids and for my family, future family, and for my friends and for you, that it is okay to cut somebody out of your life that is toxic, even if they're family. Please remember these words. The word that I can think of to describe what it would feel like to be around these people or person, the one word that I can think of that comes to mind to just describe that feeling is suffocating or suffocation. Because being in a room, even if it's flooded with people and family, with just a one person that sucks the life force out of you, feels like suffocation. Can you guys relate to that? Stand up for yourself. Don't let anybody tell you that standing up for yourself means talking back or being rude or disrespecting your elders. Obviously, don't be rude, don't swear, don't be disrespectful, don't do those things. Be intellectual and say something intellectual. Like, don't speak to me like that. Please walk away from me. I don't want to be around you. I don't appreciate your tone. I don't appreciate your hurtful words. You know, you're abusing me. You're upsetting me. You know, like, stick up for yourself and don't let anybody say, oh no, don't talk to your dad like that. Don't talk to your uncle like that. Don't talk to your grandma like that. None of that. Be respectful. Be honest. Don't let anybody walk all over you. And if it's easier for you to just walk away and not say anything at all, perfect. Actually, that's even better. Respect is earned no matter what. I don't really believe in this respect your elders thing. You know, respect is earned. It's not just given, you know, whether that's, you know, any kind of relationship, no matter what the age gap is, respect is earned. It is not just given. My thing is, you know, some people find it easier to just be fake and be like civil and say things you don't mean and pretend to like somebody that they don't. I'm not like that, and I wouldn't, you know, give that advice to anybody. I don't think that anybody should be fake. I believe that people should be civil and respectful and kind, but I don't think that you need to be fake with anybody, because that just, it's just not authentic. And overall, I just think it's bad for your mental health. And at the end of the day, if being around a toxic family member is bad for your mental health, that is more than enough reason to cut that person off or remove yourself from the situation. So many times, you know, like they would come and say they love me to my face and then turn around and say something horrible and make me look bad and make me look like something that I'm not. They would go to their kids and tell them, don't be like Mandy, or like, look at her tattoos and her piercings and her style. She's such a bad influence on my kids. I don't want her babysitting my kids. I don't want her around my kids. You know how hard it is to hear that? When I love kids and I want to be a mom and I can't wait to, like, I love being around kids, and so many of my other family members who have kids love it when I babysit them and we have such a nice time. And they just take one look at me and see my tattoos and they think that I'm a bad influence. And they like speak on that. It's unbelievably hurtful in so many ways. And it's so bad to be around that. It's just so negative. It's so toxic and I can't do it. And it's okay. That's okay. If somebody isn't there for you at your worst, they don't deserve you at your best. At the end of the day, guys, time is precious, life is short, and happiness and your happiness means everything. Happiness is so important, and time spent with people who love you and rise you up and, you know, lift you up is so important. And life is short. I don't want you guys to forget that. Spend your time doing what matters. And spend your time doing things that will make you happy. And spend your time surrounded by people who love you and want the best for you and make you feel good about yourself. And last but not least, you cannot change people. You know, they have to want to change themselves. They have to want to help themselves and recognize that there's a problem within themselves. You can't let things control or affect other aspects of your life. If you have a relationship with a person that's so negative, and even if you see them once a month or just for special occasions, but they suck the life out of you and they bring you down, and it affects other areas of your life or your mental health, no, like, get out of that. Just get out of it, you know? And some other family members may not understand or comprehend or see what it is that you feel and what it is that you see in that person that is abusive towards you. They might not understand, and you have to accept that, and so do they. Don't let them tell you what to feel, and don't let them minimize your feelings or the situation ever. You know, like, you have to accept that some people may not understand or agree with your decisions in regards to cutting a family member off. And that's okay. Not everyone will ever understand you, but you have to do what's best for you. Okay? You have to do what's best for your physical, mental health and the light of your soul. I hope I said everything that I needed to say, and I hope I said enough, you know, so that you guys can understand, or if you guys are going through the same thing as I am and that I have gone through, you know, I just wish that these things were said to me. So I'm saying them to you, and I'm going to continue to say them to my future kids and my future family and stuff. And I'm just telling you that since this, you know, situation in my life, since being a kid and growing up in this negative environment, I have since removed myself and cut those people out, and I am so happy. I really am. And for my I don't have to see them on my birthday or on other special occasions, like when I was forced to have them there because they were family and I never wanted them to be there. And I am happier. I'm stress-free. I go to some family events, and where I was stressing about it and I felt so tense and anxious the whole time, I'm not. I am myself, and I'm not afraid to be myself because I feel loved and accepted and positive energy and light surrounding me, and it's so much better. And yeah, I run into certain family members that don't agree with me and my decisions, and that's okay. To each their own. You can have your opinions and I can have mine. But at the end of the day, don't you want me to be the happiest that I can be? That's what you have to say. And yeah, if you guys want me to make more videos like these, I would love to. I think I'm going to make a video next about, you know, those of you who are the black sheeps of your family. And there's a lot that I'd like to say there as well. And I feel so emotional right now. Like I am on the verge of tears, but I want to be strong for you guys. And I just want this to be something that's negative turned into positive. Anyways, if you guys like this video, click that like button. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell because I do make videos every week. I love you guys so much. Bye.